So on the first day of the Men's 2023 World Cup, England were absolutely hammered by New Zealand here in Ahmedabad. I'm now going to be going to England's second match versus Bangladesh, which is all the way up in the north of India in the Himalayas, in the home of the Dalai Lama, Dharamshala. But I've decided not to take the plane. Instead, I'm going to be taking the journey over land by a mixture of train and bus. Now, why exactly would I do this considering that it would take so much longer? Well, the answer for me is quite simple. I think it's going to be more fun. So the first challenge for me was simply getting to the train station in Ahmedabad. So I hopped into an auto and went straight into the chaos. Along the way, I'd also had some messages from friends about what to expect about travel in India, and especially on the trains.
More people, maybe 10 times the people travel by train than they do by flight, right over here. That is how the heart of the country actually moves around. One thing you'll notice is the immense hospitality. When you sort of take the train, move to a bus, have to take a local cab, maybe hitchhike at times.
You know, there's a lot going on here. As we can see and hear, there's traffic, there's people, there's just massive humanity all colliding.
It's beautiful. You will find scenic views, you will find warm people.
I feel a little bit nervous for you, and I feel a little bit anxious about how long it's going to take you and how you're going to cope. I would be very hesitant. I'm very scared of getting squashed up against people in a train, for example. I think it's going to be exhilarating, and I also want to know whether you get an inch of sleep on the way.
So I managed to find my way to the station through the chaos of the traffic. Made a new cow friend outside the front. It's actually pretty quiet in here at the moment and pretty calm, so hopefully it should be pretty easy to find my spot on the train. So I was actually sharing my compartment, which was 4 beds, with a young family. So there was a mum, a dad, and a little boy, who was actually impeccably well behaved, apart from blasting wheels on the bus at full volume for the first half an hour of the ride. You know, no problem with that, it's a great song. Once the train started moving, mum and dad decided it was time for them all to take a bit of a nap, so that actually gave me a good opportunity to go out and explore the rest of the train. One thing that you do notice quite often walking around the train is that the doors are regularly just left open. And I'm not really certain why that is, because they can actually physically be closed, but quite often they're just flapping around in the wind for no apparent reason. But hey, you know, if you can get a good video, you can get a good photo, who really cares about safety, right? So after exploring the train, I headed back to my cabin, and something that I'd been told about before the trip came fully true.
You will find scenic views, you will find warm people. You might even be able to share the lunchbox of your fellow passenger, because that's very normal here. Here somebody just opening a paratha, they'll offer you some, and feel free to eat it because it's actually pretty yummy.
So the family that I was sharing the cabin with very kindly shared their homemade lunch with me, which was absolutely delicious. It was so good. And it was made all the better by the fact that I had something like 2 samosas and a packet of crisps on me at that point. So I was pretty thankful to them. But yeah, it was great. And I think it was just a perfect example of real Indian hospitality. So as the day wore on, it started to get darker, and pretty soon I was on my own. So the family that I was sharing the compartment with have actually just got off the train. So as it stands, I have the whole compartment here to myself, which means I have a choice of 4 beds. Now, whether or not that actually stays that way, I don't know. I suspect that somebody else may come and join me as the evening progresses. The thing was, nobody was coming. And as the night got darker and quieter as the train sped through the wilderness, things just got a whole lot spookier. So the night has really drawn in now, and it is scarily dark outside. We are somewhere in Rajasthan, but looking outside, it's quite disturbing because there's no lights, there's nothing. It is just inky darkness as far as the eye cannot see. I swear I don't believe in train ghosts. Promise. I tried everything that I could to distract myself. You know, I tried reading, I tried writing in my notebook, before eventually just having to accept that I just have to go to bed and just hope that the ghosts didn't get me. However, fortunately, I did survive the night, and I actually slept really well. So, good morning from Chandigarh after, honestly, what was one of the most comfortable train journeys I've actually ever had. I was on that train for 22 hours, and it really honestly didn't feel like it. I kind of didn't want to wake up this morning, just wanted to stay sleeping in the comfy bed, but I've had to get up and get off here at Chandigarh. The only problem that I have now is that I don't really have that much to do here, and the bus that I'm picking up on the way to Dharamshala doesn't arrive in Chandigarh until 2 a.m. It's currently 8 a.m. in the morning here. So I've got quite a long while to wait and not a lot to do. Probably going to go and have some downtime, maybe explore the city a little bit and wait for my bus connection. So it's currently 40.5 hours since I got on the train in Ahmedabad, and I am waiting for the bus that is supposedly coming to take me to Dharamshala. It's already late, and it's already asked me to change the location as to the pickup. So that fills me with huge amounts of confidence right now. So a few minutes ago, the driver's assistant actually did video call me to prove that there was traffic as an excuse as to why they are delayed. Who knows how much longer I'm going to be sat here for? What could possibly go wrong, eh? So, as it turned out, nothing did go wrong, and the bus did turn up just an hour later than it was supposed to. And finally, I was onto the last leg of my journey to Dharamshala. And it was the following morning, you know, waking up after a pretty terrible couple of hours sleep at most, that the rewards really started coming through. I could feel it, that I was getting so close, you know, that it was 30 minutes away and 20 minutes away, and just looking out of the window, you'd occasionally catch a glimpse of this stunning view across the valley. But it was as we drew close to Dharamshala itself that things just became utterly spectacular. So there we have it, and finally arrived in Dharamshala after such a long journey. There was a little bit of a time last night where I wondered whether I'd even make it today at all. But we have done, and I mean, what a beautiful place. Take a look at this view right behind me. The Himalayas right there in front of my very eyes. What a reward for such a long journey. And if you come over to this side, I'll show you quickly the whole reason for the journey. But there it is, Himachal Pradesh Cricket Stadium, where England will play against Bangladesh. So how exactly am I feeling right now? First things first, the quite obvious one is I'm pretty tired. The bus was much less comfortable than the train. I probably had about 2 hours sleep, so I reckon I could sleep for quite a long time today if I didn't have to edit this video. The second thing though is it's a tremendous sense of fulfillment, and would I change the journey? Absolutely not. I would always pick an overland journey like that if I have the opportunity rather than taking the plane, because you get to see and do and experience just a whole lot more than you do from being 30,000 feet in the air.